What if we're not the first? What if Earth, long before humans, was home to an advanced civilization, now lost to time? It sounds like science fiction, but think about it. Earth is over 4.5 billion years old. Modern humans have only existed for about 300,000 years. That leaves a staggering amount of time, millions, even billions of years, where anything could have happened, and we might never know. Imagine a civilization that rose during the age of dinosaurs, or even long before them. What would remain of their cities, their technology, their history? Probably nothing. The Earth buries its secrets well. Scientists have begun to ask, could there have been an industrial society long before us? If so, how would we detect it? Could we even tell? In this video, we explore the Silurian Hypothesis, a fascinating theory that challenges everything we think we know about the timeline of life on Earth. If we aren't the first, what happened to the ones who came before? Stay with us. The past may be far more mysterious than we've ever imagined. The idea of an ancient, advanced civilization on Earth isn't just science fiction. It's a question rooted in scientific curiosity. In 2018, NASA climatologist Gavin Schmidt and astrophysicist Adam Frank proposed a theory known as the Silurian Hypothesis. Its name comes from a fictional reptilian species in the British TV series Doctor Who, but the question it raises is very real. If an industrial civilization existed millions of years before humans, would we be able to detect it today? According to geology, the Earth's surface is constantly being reshaped. Mountains rise and erode, oceans open and close. In about 100 million years, nearly all traces of our current civilization would be erased, crushed, melted, or buried deep beneath new layers of rock. So, if another civilization had once existed, tens or even hundreds of millions of years ago, its cities, machines, and even bones might be long gone. But not everything disappears. Scientists suggest we might still find subtle clues: unusual carbon signatures in the rocks, radioactive isotopes that don't occur naturally, sudden shifts in climate patterns. These could be signs of past industrial activity, if we know how to look for them. The Silurian Hypothesis doesn't claim a civilization actually existed. It simply asks, could one have, and would we even know it? That's the scientific mystery, because the further back in time we go, the fainter the evidence becomes. Let's shift the focus from theory to reality. Imagine this: if humanity vanished today, right now, what would be left of us a million years from now? Our towering cities, highways, satellites, and monuments seem indestructible. But Earth is a master of erosion. In just a few thousand years, nature would reclaim everything. Steel would rust, concrete would crumble, and forests would swallow our structures. After a million years, only a few traces might remain, and most would be buried deep beneath rock and sediment. Now apply that thought to a possible pre-human civilization. If a society like ours once thrived 100 million years ago, during the age of dinosaurs or earlier, it would be even harder to find their remnants. Tectonic activity would have destroyed or recycled most of the surface they once inhabited. The fossil record is incomplete and highly biased. It preserves only a tiny fraction of life under very specific conditions. So the absence of fossils or artifacts doesn't necessarily mean something didn't exist. What we can say is this: if another advanced civilization did exist, it's entirely possible that the Earth has already erased nearly every visible sign of it, just as it will eventually erase ours. Which raises an unsettling question. How would we know if we're not the first, if all traces of the first were wiped away long ago? If the traces of a pre-human civilization are so easily lost, then whose job is it to find them? That task falls to us. Scientists across disciplines, geologists, paleontologists, climate researchers, and astrobiologists are slowly piecing together Earth's ancient history. But here's the challenge. They're not looking for spaceships or skyscrapers. They're searching for chemical anomalies, isotopic signatures, and patterns of disruption in the natural record, tiny clues that may whisper of something unnatural. One example, the Paleocene-Eocene thermal maximum, PETM, a sudden global warming event that occurred 56 million years ago. Temperatures rose sharply, carbon spiked, and ecosystems shifted dramatically. But no one knows what caused it. Could it have been natural? Most likely. But could it also be evidence of past industrial activity? That's the kind of question the Silurian hypothesis encourages us to ask, not because it's proven, but because it opens new ways to see our planet's hidden story. As humans, our curiosity is our strength. It's what drove us to the moon, to the depths of the oceans, and into the fabric of atoms. Now, it may help us understand not just where we're going, but what came long before us. Our mission is no longer just to predict the future. It's also to re-examine the past, and to recognize that some pages of Earth's history may be missing or waiting to be found. Let's imagine for a moment that the Silurian hypothesis is true. Somewhere deep in Earth's timeline, 100 million, maybe even 200 million years ago, an intelligent civilization emerged. They mastered tools, developed technology, built cities, and perhaps even explored the stars. But something went wrong. Maybe it was a natural catastrophe, a supervolcano, a meteor, or runaway climate change. Maybe it was war, or their own overreach. Whatever the cause, they vanished. And over the course of millions of years, Earth erased almost every trace of them. In this hypothetical scenario, what might they have left behind? Not buildings, not bones, but maybe a thin geochemical layer rich in synthetic compounds, maybe odd radioactive isotopes that don't match natural processes, maybe deep anomalies in the climate record, like the PETM, aren't just natural fluctuations, but echoes of an ancient industrial age. If that sounds familiar, it should. Because those are the same fingerprints humanity is currently leaving on the planet. So this thought experiment isn't just science fiction, it's a mirror. What happened to them could happen to us. And if we too were to disappear, would the next civilization even know we ever existed? Whether or not the Silurian hypothesis is ever proven isn't really the point. Its power lies in the way it challenges our assumptions about time, history, and humanity's place in the grand story of Earth. We often think of civilization as something linear, primitive to advanced, past to present. But what if it's not a straight line? What if civilization rises and falls and rises again, each chapter buried under rock, waiting for curious minds to ask the right questions? This idea humbles us. It reminds us that we are temporary, that Earth has hosted countless forms of life, and could host more long after we're gone. And it also inspires us, because if such a civilization did exist and vanished without a trace, then perhaps the most important legacy we can leave behind is a record that endures. A message, written not just in stone, but in action, in how we care for our planet, in how we treat each other, in how we use our knowledge not just to build, but to preserve. Maybe we are the first, maybe we're not. But either way, the story isn't over. We're still writing it, with every decision, every discovery, and every question we dare to ask.